Well, hello everyone. You have right here. I'm talking about Adobe Distiller right here, but talking about whenever it comes to listening, about reading. Reading and understanding documents right here. You see this right here, the Adobe right here, the Adobe Distiller. But you see this right here, the way it was kind of put together right here. If like if it's supposed to be about 3 pages long or something like that. I'm like, yeah, you got three documents open right here for Acrobat, but then you see right here, look at for 3 pages right here. So in case if anybody's wondering that, you know, uh, yeah, that talking about for good luck on the things that you're working on, right? But still, that you begin to wonder to where that talking about distiller right here that you see these pages right here, but then whenever you look at these pages right here, it shows right here to where that impressive gift right here, and so people want to know too is to where that, yeah, okay, so I guess whenever you do open up a document right here, that you're warned too is toward all this writing right here, and people might even say too that really, who's going to really take the time to look really closely at the document, just to know who's really listening, who's really going to look closely at what it says right here, whichever. But still, on the other hand, that whenever it comes to reviewing, looking at a story or anything that you want to talk about, right? And you begin to learn to where that, yeah, that you look at the document right here and you're kind of like wondering to where that, for who's really listening, that you want to know too is to where, okay, yeah, for those who take the time to read and understand the story right here. And so it sure seems that way that. Whenever we talk about the distiller right here, that you had these functionalities right here to where you can actually zoom in and zoom out on the document right here. And in case of anybody's wondering that to where that, yeah, that you would go ahead and look closely at this document right here and you're warned to where that okay, yeah, that first of all it goes by saying is as to where that yeah, you find the file right here, but right here it looks like a page right here, the way it's set up right here. And like, let's just say if you were to open up your email and get a document, you would actually see that to where that the file is attached right here, but it's not open yet until you actually open it. And then whenever you do open it, then you see this right here, and you want to know too is toward okay, yeah, whatever that's supposed to mean, yeah, you have right here is an image right here, and a lot of the impressive gifts right here, but then you see this right here are talking about the exclamation right here, so everybody might even think is toward if you're going to be reading any source of paper and you're want to know too is to where that that yeah, you go ahead and read what's right here, and you begin to wonder where that you got this option. I guess you got the highlighter right here, highlighter selected the text right here, and so all these other functionalities right here. And you're thinking as toward okay, yeah, that so if you were to distill a document, right? If you were to actually distill a document in your word toward, okay, yeah, that whenever you do distill a document, that what you basically are doing is that yeah, you actually want to take a closer look at the file that you just downloaded and the file that you just opened, right? And a lot of times, if you check your emails, then most of the time that's usually the case. Is that whenever you do open up a file, that you had the zoom controls right here, and you're able to read some of the stuff that what contains on a document. And everybody might say that, yeah, well, for sure, that each paragraph should contain about maybe up to 150 characters or something like that. And you begin to wonder toward, okay, blah, 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 whatever that's supposed to mean, blah, blah, blah. And you're thinking as toward, okay, yeah, so you have right here what this talks about right here, but there at the same time, people want to say that okay, yeah, well, good luck, with the test, and then maybe anything else that you gotta do that requires you to go ahead and work with PDF file documents and maybe anything that you had to keep organized, and anything that needs to be signed, or anything that needs to be moved around and reorganized. And so it sure seems that way, that each time you think about a PDF file document, right, the first thing that probably came to your mind is that, yeah, that PDF file pretty much means that it's attached to your email, but whatever that's supposed to mean. Yeah, whatever that's supposed to mean. You're supposed to open it and you're supposed to read it, and then of course you're supposed to understand what it says right there. And so that's the thing, that whenever it comes to looking at PDF file documents and any other source of document worked in Distiller, that you begin to warn toward it, that okay, that this right here looks like it's only about maybe 2 pages right here. But in case if anybody's going to wonder that how many pages are included right here, I only see, if anything, this looks like it's maybe 3 pages all put together. So in case if anybody's wanting to know too, that okay, Adobe Distiller, can you tell me how many pages this is? Because this right here looks like it's 3 pages, all divided into 3 or 4 different corners right here. Can you tell me how many pages that is? And it says is that there's only 3 pages right there, that the file contains only 3 pages. So in case of anybody's wondering that, why is it that something like this would look like it's 3 pages or even 4 pages all combined? And in case if we're wondering that yeah, with Distiller, if you actually distill a document, what you're doing is that you're dividing this full page right here, this printout, in the fourths, right? You can do that to where that if it's done in InDesign, that you can actually divide this into 4 different sections right here. So it's 1 page, but then you see that these different columns right here. So whenever you look at this document right here and you're warned to where to, hey, that I see how many pages? Yeah, I only see 2 pages right here, but let's just say that if the program were to tell you that that there's 8 pages altogether that you have opened right here, it looks like there's only 2. So why do you think that would be the form of a question right there, to where that there's total, there's only 2 pages that are open, but then it says on the detail script that that there's 8 of them altogether. So why do you think that would be confusing? And everybody might say that well, the reason why it's confusing is because of the fact that yeah, that we have right here, whenever you're opening up this file right here, what you're basically are doing, yeah, it's like a little extraction, to where it it's all about whenever the file is saved and whenever you do convert it to a different file format, right? So whenever you do a source of experiment, to where, okay, this is what it looks like whenever it's extracted, this is what it looks like whenever it's compressed into a different file format, such and such. But let's just say that if you're going to have these 2 pages right here, and people may want to know too, is to where I don't get it, because I thought there were only 2 pages right here. This right here looks like that there's a total of 8 pages right here. And I know this is more likely what it would look like if you're reviewing it. If you're trying to publish a book of any kind, this is more likely what the front interface would look like. The front back cover right here, along with the back side. This is what it would look like if you were trying to publish a book. So you see right here is what the 2 pages look like, and the first 2, the first 2 pages right here. So the way it was all kind of put together right here, and people might say that if you were to actually distill a document right here, it's actually, you can actually view this document before it's actually published, before it's actually put together. So Distiller actually gives you that ability to where you can actually look at this document before you actually proceed with putting it together. If you're trying to make a book about it, or if you're just trying to put together, like this right here is supposed to be 2 sides right here. This right here is supposed to be the 4 side up, right here. And so you begin to warn toward it that, yeah, that this was not my idea. I would like to know that that there's a page on here that is backwards or something like that, but still that you begin to learn to where that with AI assistant that you could actually program to where this is how you want to look at this document, and you got the page 1 and page 2, but then these used to be PDF file documents, but now they're a different. There's like a PostScript document. So yeah, put together in InDesign, but then now you're viewing it in a Distiller, and so whenever you do think about that, then you're warned toward it. Hey, that why is it that that this right here looks like it's backwards? This page right here looks like it's out of order. This right here is supposed to be on the top or something like that. And so with this tool called for Distiller, you can actually look at the documents and you can actually see how they're put together. And like everybody might say that you can rearrange the pages and all that, but still that it may look like just a page to you, but whenever you start working on the project, that's whenever it really starts looking like yeah, that whenever you first start working on the project, it's more likely going to look like something like this right here, to where that you will look up the document and your one or two is that okay, yeah, that this right here, but still that so this what the project looks like right here. Just 2 pages, but people might even say too that that whenever you look at that, why does it look like that there's 8 pages presented right there? And, so you kind of go back and forth, and you're warned toward it. Did you read this in its entirety? Yeah, I can read it, but I gotta zoom in. But still, that every time you do think about that, and you're warned toward it, that whenever you first open up a document right here, that people might even say that oh, okay, yeah, that I can see this document right here, but yeah, why do you think that anybody would be using Distiller just to find anything wrong, with the document? People might say that, yeah, what's the first thing that you find whenever you do open up and distill a document? Are you trying to find anything wrong or anything that possibly that could give you an idea about, okay, you want to go ahead and put this, rotate this to the left or something like that, turn it clockwise or something like that, but still, that each time you do think about that and you warn toward it, yeah, there's an area right here where you can add a comment, and people might even say that yeah, you can add a comment right here, and then they say is toward oh, okay, I don't get it. Okay, I don't get it, man. I'm looking at this right here and I don't get it. What's the deal here? This right here is supposed to be on the front cover right here, but instead I'm seeing it on the inside, or I see that it's backwards or something like that. So people might even say that if you use Distiller just to kind of review these documents, and you can actually get feedback from other clients about that, and you're warned toward it. Okay, yeah, whenever you first start working on this, you were told that you were supposed to get 5 pages, but then you only see 4 right there or something like that. So people might say that, oh, okay, yeah, I like, and yeah, you'll look at it and good luck right here, and so you can actually post yeah, you can actually post feedback using that sticky note right there for feedback, right? But like everybody say, if you're going to be communicating with any clients, then it sure seems that way that yeah, I had time to look over your document, but man, I have something to say that I believe that these first 2 pages right here are backwards. This right here is not measured right. It shows right here that the pages, I can't read this first half of the page right here. And what is this supposed to mean right here? So you got these other functionalities. So everybody might say that that whenever you do distill a document, it sure seems that way toward it. You want something quick and you want something easy to use or something like that. But other than that, it's all about the fun of learning new things, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.